Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with a social skills. Usually, when I do social skills, when I do them on a Tuesday, uh, we're going to be talking about emotional regulation, and that's something that we need to really think about this because there's a lot of things that are going wrong in the world, and emotions are high. And, we got to be careful letting our emotions drive us, Sometimes we need to just step back and be calm, but try to be calm as we can, as difficult as stuff is. But let's talk about it, okay? Today, I want to talk to you about a skill that holds immense power in shaping our lives for the better. Emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage and control our emotions in a healthy and constructive manner. It's about being aware of what we're feeling, understanding why we're feeling it, and choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with our values and goals. And that's one thing that I've had to learn how to do through the years, is that because I've had high pressure jobs where stress level is just can just drive you through the roof, and it kept my blood pressure sky high, so I've had to learn techniques, and it's something that you have to learn how to do, just like it says. It's kind of like a checklist, but anyway, let me keep going. In our fast-paced world where stressors abound and emotions can run high, mastering emotional regulation is crucial for our well-being and success. But how do we do it? Here, I'm going to give you some key strategies to positively apply this concept, in your everyday life. Firstly, self-awareness is key. Take the time to check in with yourself regularly. Notice how you're feeling and why. This is very important. When you're feeling anxious and stuff, stop and ask yourself, why am I anxious? Some people have a real excuse to be anxious if they're in dangerous situations, but you still have to be calm so you don't make it worse for yourself. But are you anxious about a looming deadline? Frustrated by a disagreement with a friend? Understanding the root cause of our emotions helps us respond appropriately. So when you're anxious, stop and ask yourself, why am I anxious? What's making me anxious? What is it? Let me keep going. Next, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or simply focusing on the present moment can help calm our minds and create space between our emotions and our reactions. This pause allows us to choose how we want to respond rather than reacting impulsively. And emotions can get us into a situation where we just respond, and that can get us into a bad problem. I've had to learn this, okay? I've had to learn it myself, and that's why I don't. When I'm meeting people, I'm divorced and single, but when I'm meeting people, I assess I try to assess how I'm going to interact with them, But if they're type of people that keep a lot of drama, and they just always have something going on and just problems, I had to get away from them because they'll make you nervous, I limit my accessibility to people, and I've had the type of jobs where I had to be around people and lots of people, and that was okay, but I had to try to manage it, and I wasn't so good at it, and I had to take blood pressure medicine. I'm still taking blood pressure medicine, but you have to do an assessment of, why am I upset? Stop and think about, why am I upset? Because even in dangerous situations, you have to you need to try, even as upset as you are, you still need to try to be as calm as you can so you can think your way through, so you can be safe, because being anxious and overreacting and allowing our emotions to run us can kill you, okay? Another crucial aspect of emotional regulation is perspective taking. Try to see things from different viewpoints, especially in challenging situations. And I try to do that because I have dealt with people that most of the people, my jobs, most of the time, they were in situations where people was critical. People were in emergency situations, you know, and I had to stay calm. I had to stay calm and try to be balanced, you know, so that I could be able to help them the best I could, you know. So I understand it, and it's not easy. No, it's not. You have to work at it. But when you're able to eliminate the things that stress you out, if you can't eliminate them, you know, if you're around people that are going to make you, you know, be up in the air all the time and nervous and this and that, you need to try to figure out, you know, ways to either limit access to them or just have discussions with them and talk to them about what's going on, you know, so that you can calm down. Empathy and understanding can diffuse conflicts and help us approach problems with a clearer, more balanced mindset. Moreover, build a toolbox of healthy coping mechanisms. Exercise, hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or engaging in creative activities can all serve as outlets for managing stress and negative emotions. Find what works best for you and make time for it regularly. And what I do is when I'm doing videos, this is just my way of giving back to people. Most people don't even watch my videos, you know. I'm not, you know, but it's okay. I'm doing this for me as a mechanism for myself since I'm retired to give back. But I have other things that I'm working on, you know. But this is my way to give back to you. So maybe I can help one person to be able to become a more balanced person. And it's not easy. I've had to work at it, you know. But I know that in critical situations, and when you're high strung and when you're upset and your emotions are running high, you have to be able to calm down so that you don't make yourself sick or affect other people, you know, negatively because your emotions are just all over the place. It's not healthy. That's why I don't allow myself anymore to be around a lot of people, and I'm able to do that. I'm selective now how and who I allow myself to be around. And if people bring forth a lot of conflict and a lot of confusion every day, if I can't, I don't even be around them. Right now, I don't have to be around that. And I'm creating opportunities where, you know, I can be able to try to give back, but just minimize the amount of interaction, you know, with people, because I don't want my peace means everything to me, and I'm trying to do things that are going to help people, and I need to be able to concentrate. So my emotional well-being is very important, and I'm trying to give back to people and give them suggestions on ways to start working on becoming emotionally balanced. You know, it's not always about taking meds. You know, you can talk somebody to death. Sometimes some people need medicine, okay? I'm not saying don't take medicine. What I'm saying is control yourself. You can talk to somebody until you're blue in the face, but they got to want to change themselves too, you know. You got to want to change. You know, somebody talking at you or you talking to somebody isn't going to necessarily change. It might help, but if you don't make your own mind up about what you're going to do, it almost doesn't matter. Lastly, practice self-compassion. We're all human and we all make mistakes. Instead of beating yourself up about perceived failures, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Learn from your experiences and use them for opportunities for growth. In conclusion, emotional regulation is a skill that can transform your life. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing mindfulness, fostering empathy, utilizing healthy coping mechanisms, and showing your self-compassion, you can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience, you know. So commit yourself to try to master these invaluable skills that I've talked to you about, and that that'll help you to unlock your full potential for happiness and success.